second chance in the game.
Hey, Chief Pigskin, I am Daniel McDonald, head football coach at Providence High School in Clarksville, Indiana. I'm here with my good friend Nate Allball, and this is part one of a video series from Providence High School, Attacking the Perimeter. Here on the screen, you'll see my contact information, dmcdonald@providencehigh.net. Of course, I'm an easy follow on Twitter at coach_dmcdonald. Just a little bit about our school and our program. We're a small Catholic school. Our enrollment is hovering around 325, 330 in Clarksville, Indiana, just across the river from Louisville. Considering our enrollment, our roster size is pretty solid. We roster 30 to 40 kids. This next season, I'm hoping to get 45, 50. We've done a lot of recruiting in the building to get to that number. Kind of a small school issue. We don't have a lot of big kids in the program. We have your typical small school lineman. And with that said, we don't really have a lot of big kids in the school either. So I'm thinking offensively and defensively the next couple years after this senior class graduates, we might have to do something a little bit different to be competitive. When I took this job back in March, right before COVID hit, I had an initial meeting with our players. And I come into the meeting and there are 17 kids there. And I'm thinking, where are the rest of you all? Right after that meeting, COVID hits, we go into lockdown, the building closes. So I can't even get into the hallways to recruit the kids. So it was a lot of social media action, a lot of texting, a lot of phone calls, and we were able to build our roster up to 38. And I say COVID there because I took this job when the timing couldn't have been worse. Like I said, I accept the job in February. I have to wait a couple weeks to get my background information and everything cleared through the Archdiocese. I have our initial meeting in March, and then it wasn't 2 or 3 days later. We go into complete lockdown. The schools shut down through the summer, and that was that. I didn't meet my players in person until July 6th, our first day of practice. So it was a lot of Zoom clinics, trying to instill some brand of culture, trying to install something via Zoom, and it went about as swimmingly as you would expect. So there were a lot of issues with COVID this year. I wouldn't say issues, I would say setbacks. Thankfully, we only had to quarantine a handful of kids over the course of the season. We were very lucky. And to that effect, we were very lucky to even be playing. I know some of my colleagues in Illinois, California, you're just hoping to get some kind of a season here in the next couple weeks. A little bit about my background. I started my career at 21 years of age, fresh out of college at Bullitt East High School in Mount Washington, Kentucky. I was an assistant for a year, thought I knew everything. My alma mater came open at the urging of some people from the school that I graduated with. I took the job at age 22, and that went about as well as you would expect a 22-year-old head coach trying to rebuild a struggling program. That went about as well as you would expect it to go. I did that for a year, decided I need to go elsewhere, let some grass grow under my feet, get some experience. And that kind of brings me to my advice for young coaches. Don't be in a rush to become a head coach. Learn from good head coaches. Get on staff with elite programs. Learn how to be a head coach. From there, I was the OC at Seneca High School in Louisville, did that for 3 years, and then as fate would have it, my high school head coach at Wagner was Chris Wolf, who by then was the head coach at Louisville Male. I was about to get out of coaching, was thinking about doing other things, was frustrated with my teaching job, was frustrated with my coaching job, almost got out of coaching and teaching altogether. I saw that Coach Wolf had an opening. Ironically, it was for defensive line, and I had no experience on the defensive side of the ball at all. Coach Wolf says, look, man, I hire the best coaches available, and I figure if you're a hard worker, you'll make it work. And I made it work. I coached my rear end off at D-line. I watched videos, I watched clinics, I read books. I decided I was going to be the best D-line coach possible. And that would be my other advice for young coaches. You need to get out of your comfort zone. And just because you played a position in high school or college doesn't mean that that's your niche to coach. I was a high school quarterback, and I played college baseball, about the furthest thing from coaching D-line possible. But I knew I was getting ready to coach stud athletes. I was getting ready to coach elite athletes at Male. So I had to make sure that I knew my stuff to earn the respect from that group. And I did. I was the D-line coach for a year. Coach Wolf promoted me to the defensive coordinator after that season. And from 2017 to 2019, we went on a heck of a run. We were the 2018 KHSAA 6A state champions, the number 2 ranked scoring defense in Kentucky. I think at that point we were giving up 8.6 points per game or something to that effect. And then 2019, we were state runners-up. I parlayed that state runner-up, that state championship, into my current job. I'm the head coach at Our Lady of Providence High School. I plan to retire from here. I'll be here as long as they'll have me. And I am working toward rebuilding a tradition-rich program. All right, so let's talk about attacking the perimeter. A lot of our offense this past season was built on getting to the edge, get to the edge, get to the edge, get to the edge, and we'll build the rest of our offense off of that idea or that philosophy that we're going to attack the edge, you're going to have to stop it, and then we'll build off that. So in this talk, I'm going to talk about 3 main things. Why do we emphasize attacking the perimeter? Formations to help you get to the perimeter, and then scheme to help you get to the perimeter. And then we'll get to some video. I'm a big believer in the idea that if you're going to put a clinic talk on, you better have the film to back it up, to show coaches I'm not just talking out the side of my mouth here. I've actually got the film to support these ideas work. So why the perimeter? The first thing is our personnel. Our big guys are not very strong yet, but they're working hard in the weight room to get there. We have a little speed for a small school program, for a small Catholic school. We've got a little speed. So we're able to use that to our advantage, or use that as our weapon. And then we had a running back who, because I couldn't get with him in the spring or summer, he kind of worked out on his own, said he wanted to be our quarterback. I said, go for it, man. Here's some drills you can do. And then on July 6th, he turned into a quarterback. And we had July 6th to early August to try to get him from shifty running back to quarterback. So that fit our personnel. We had a kid who can run. We weren't great passing the ball. We were not good passing the ball. And that's really nobody's fault. We went July 6th and said, here, you're a quarterback now. And then we looked at the other team's personnel. Most of the teams that we play, and most teams in high school, they put a lot of beef on the interior. I don't have a lot of size. So why am I going to try to run inside zone and get up in there? Why am I going to, we ran power, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to hang our hat on power if we can't create movement. And what I found in playing a lot of small schools, their inside linebackers are just slightly quicker D linemen. They're your old school, 240, 250, 230 pound kids. So we're going to try to outrun them. I've also found that a lot of teams overhangs in small schools. They're outside linebackers, they're walked up safeties, whatever. They're not overly aggressive. They don't do a fantastic job setting the edge. So we're going to attack those guys. And then I hear this all the time, and I really believe it. Ask yourself, do corners really want to defeat blocks and tackle your running backs? And for the most part, the answer is no. So we're going to attack where we feel teams are a little bit weaker. The opposing defenses we faced, we really want to get to the edge because of the opposing defenses. We play mostly pinching odd fronts. The in vogue defense now is that 3-5 cover 3. And they're going to pinch those 3 down linemen. They're going to close the A, the B, and they're going to scrape with the C, or they're going to scrape to the C with their backers. And they're not placing a ton of emphasis on force alley scrape. So we're going to try to get to that edge on you and make your guys tackle us in open space. And I've seen that we have the ability to out-formation teams. 4x1s, 4x0s, 5x0s, moving unbalanced. Okay, so we have that ability, so we're going to take advantage of it. In small school football, you don't have a lot of time defensively to prepare for those exotic formations. So we're going to use them, and we're going to get to the edge on you. So some formations that we use in our league, in our area, the odd front is in vogue. Like I said, specifically the 3-5, and we're getting some weird variations of that 3-5. In fact, Nate's getting ready to go talk to one of our opponents who ran it was a weird 3-5. They went 3 down. They put a stud mic in the middle, and they said our 3 are better than your 5. Our mic is going to flow, and they took their what we called the spur and the bandit, those outside backers, and those inside backers, they went out wide. Then they went out extra wide with those spurs, and it was odd, but we were able to out formation them. And little piece of advice here: if you're an aspiring offensive coordinator, you need to get over to the defensive side of the ball and coach the defensive side of the ball, because you need to understand what a defense is trying to stop. What are these safeties keying? What are these outside linebackers keying? Once you understand that, then you can understand how to outmaneuver, how to outflank, how to balance, or how to off balance different fronts. So I know that odd fronts, symmetrical fronts, don't like unbalanced formations. So we used a lot of unbalanced. And then my philosophy is we want to try to throw one unique formation at the defense every week. Even if it means widening a split, we want to, or doing something odd with a receiver. We want to try to throw one unique formation at you per week. Our formation principles: we want to align ourselves on offense to do one of 3 things. 1, we want to try to outflank the defense with our formation. Okay, so can we get more guys to one side of the ball? Can we outnumber you? I believe offense is a game of numbers anyway. Get more numbers at the point of attack. The second thing we want to do with our formations is we want to try to open up grass. So you might see us bunched up off the tight end or bunched up off the tackle, but then widen out with a flanker. Teams are going to have teams are going to have trouble defending that or lining up to it. It's an odd formation. And then the third thing we want to do with our formations is we want to create angles. So we might use bunch and compress sets simply to pin and pull guys. Okay, so when you design an offense or when you design a scheme, I would start with formations, and whenever you drop a formation, what am I trying to accomplish here? What defensive looks am I getting, and how is this going to screw up their rules or mess with their keys? And then another piece of advice I have is to be different. You see so much 2x2 in high school anymore. And in my opinion, that's the easiest surface to defend by far, especially if you're going up against a bunch of odd fronts. They want you to be balanced. So if you just line up in doubles or 2 tights, 2 flankers, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're playing into the defense's hand, in my opinion. So I have a few ideas to attack the perimeter with your formations. You can go with an unbalanced line, a tackle over, but you got to keep in mind that widens the edge that you're trying to get to. So if you add another lineman there, that's more space that your back has to cover before he gets to the edge. So keep that in mind. I really am a fan of bunching up, using compressed sets. It creates grass. It forces the defense to declare a force. And it really puts a lot of pressure on corners to come up and make plays when they're not comfortable doing that. Let's be honest about it. I'm a big believer in using an over receiver. So taking your boundary receiver and moving him over to create a numbers advantage. You'd be surprised how many teams just leave their corner or their outside linebackers or their safeties over there defending grass. And now you've gotten an advantage over here to the point of attack. Some schemes we use. Our day one install is if you look at it as a defensive coordinator, you say they're running outside zone. I look at it as more of a pin and pull philosophy. It's borderline buck, except we don't always bring the backside guard up through. And it's ironic that that's my first day install as a head coach now. Excuse me. Because as a defensive coordinator, I always laughed when teams tried to run, the traditional Chip Kelly outside zone against us where the back's running horizontally. Because my philosophy was, you're giving the ball to this guy 5 yards deep in the backfield. He has to cross the center. He has to cross the guard, the tackle. And by that time, my guys have pursued. My nickel has forced it, and now we're getting you for a loss. I found out that's because I had studs on defense who knew how to play. As an OC or as a head coach now, calling plays and building a scheme, I really like that horizontal motion from shotgun, where you can get a guy on the edge really quickly. That's not our only scheme that we use to get to the perimeter, though. That's our day one install. But you'll see on film, we run your traditional rocket sweep out of a wing T look. We run a no-mo rocket where we just line the guy out there. Okay, we run your key or bubble screens. Not to the effect that I wanted to last year. I really, like an off-season emphasis for us is to get better at those key screens. We run some option. We ran a little bit of option. We had a QB sweep. We would just snap to the quarterback and play the numbers game. Get it to your athletes and let them go. We ran some sprint out pass and we ran some boot with some success. But the key was to keep your blocking simple. Okay, so you don't want your linemen thinking up there. You want them to say, this play, this play, this play, and this play are all blocked the exact same. It's the same rules. It may look complicated in the backfield, which is fine. But my advice is to keep your blocking simple, make your formations complicated. Okay, give that defense something different to line up to. Make sure that you're aligning or you're formationing to make the defense think. If the defense is thinking, they're playing slow. If they're not thinking, they're not lining up correctly to you. So there's your advantage. Okay, and I'm going to go to the film. So you'll see right off the bat, we're trying to get to the edge. We've got a wing. Let me turn most of these annotations off real quick. Okay, we've got a wing here. He's pinched with another wing. We brought our receiver over. And we've got our flanker lined up wide. That's a lot of grass to defend. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 gaps to defend right off the bat, plus an ineligible receiver. That's another number, another blocker. And you've got to acknowledge that this guy could go out for a pass. Okay, so you've got to cover him with a corner. A lot of gaps, a lot of grass. We're going to motion our wing across. I really am a fan of our blocking here. This play is borderline illegal. I don't think it is. It's not, forget I said that. It's not borderline illegal. Our guy ends up catching it behind the line. But it's a nice play for us. It's essentially a key screen. We're cracking down on the edge, and look at all this grass we've created out here. Bunch of defenders stacked up, defending the same people, defending the same area. We're putting our stud in grass, and it's a 3-yard throw. Bang. Explosive play right off the bat. We got a corner defending grass, defending nobody, safety defending nobody, and now we've got numbers. Stay on your block so we can get that to the end zone, man. Let's go. Next play. This might actually, no, it's not the next play, but it's later on. Same formation. Okay, you've got a corner defending nobody, and we're just going to hand it to our guy here. Come on. All that is outside zone. It looks like jet. It's just a little pin and pull action. Now we've got numbers. Look at that. I would have preferred for our running back to find his guard and get up in here. But I see what he sees. He sees all this grass out here to run to, and 2 guys that he's got to defeat. I get it. Your guard is going to take you to the promised land, but hey, I get it. You got grass, brother. Take it. Watch this cut. He puts his foot in the ground. Boom. Nice. Explosive play. And it's all numbers based. That's all it is. We're getting numbers. Same formation we ran earlier. Okay, except now we took our fullback and offsetting. They didn't change their alignment on us. They lined up the same exact way. We're coming back to the weak side now. We're going to make your corner make a play. I don't know if he's got run action now and he's backpedaling. So I don't think your boy wants to make a play here. We're going to attack him. Nice play. Get to the edge. You give us a short edge, we'll take it. Give us grass, we're going to take it. Now, I will say this. This team ended up beating us, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some kind of savant. We have some things we got to work on. This kid was a stud. I figured out what they were doing. They were just letting this kid play football. They were playing 0 guys in the middle of the field, so kind of a man on demand, and they were letting that guy basically just be a rover and go play football. He ended up being the reason we lost that game. I think he had like 22 tackles this game. We just happened to outrun him that game. Same game, same deal. Attack that short edge. Get into the boundary if you need to. It's nice to be able to go to the boundary and attack the edge because it's a short field. It makes your guy make a cut, and a lot of teams don't really practice perimeter boundary stuff. So there we go, just a quick play to get to the edge, 7 yards. Okay, we were huge on this over formation this game. They weren't matching our numbers. We've got an advantage on them here. Pull the guard. Linebacker's feet are stuck in stone or stuck in the concrete, whatever the expression is. I don't really know. I'd like for our center to cut that guy or get to the outside shoulder. It's kind of lazy, but he'll get better. He's coming back for us this year. Look at that. Nice cut. And I want to draw attention here to this block right here, this kick-out block on the perimeter. Watch 47. I think it's 47. It might be 18. Yeah, 18. Watch 18. This is kind of the culture we build here with our receivers. We're not going to throw you the ball if you're not going to block for us. So 18, he misses here. He doesn't set up and get to the outside shoulder like we like, but he stays with his block. 18 right here. Sticks with the block. Doesn't break down early enough, but stays with it. We'll keep riding that guy. Take him where he wants to go. Nice little shove out, kick out. And then our guard does a nice job getting out into space. That's a 170-pound guard. Why did he play guard? Because he can do this. Gets out there. Nice feet. Get out there, guard. Come on, 18. And then boom. Nice little double team kick out. Get our guy into the end zone. I love it. Good stuff there. All right. So we've gone to a bunch formation here. Wing, flanker. We've offset our back behind the tackle. So what do you think's coming? Probably a toss, right? Same blocking scheme you just saw. We're just about getting angles and numbers. We've got numbers. We've got the edge. Let your athletes go to work. He does a nice job putting his foot in the ground here and going. I love it. This kid's signed to play with Hanover College. He's going to be a heck of a college player. Boom. Good stuff, my man. Great blocking on the edge. Again, we really like this no-mo rocket. Okay, it takes a guy who runs a 4.6, 4.7, and now all of a sudden you've put him in a position to where he's much faster because you've outflanked the defense just by alignment. Look at this. You can call it little league ball all you want. I'm about getting numbers to the point of attack. Get the speed on the edge, get numbers to the point of attack. Get it out there, let our guards and our wings go to work. Great blocking on the edge, great speed. We've got grass, we're going to take it. All right, I've talked about it, and I've talked about with Nate quite a bit, establishing culture as a new head coach. Our 3 core values as a team are team before self, relentless effort, character first. This man right here kind of embodies that for us. Watch our receiver here. He was a good athlete. Okay, he scored some touchdowns for us. He got some carries, but watch him on the perimeter here. All we're going to do here is just flip it out to our running back. Okay, bubble screen from the backfield. But this is why this play goes right here. Watch number 3. Boom. We give helmet stickers every time you knock a guy down. Whether you're a receiver, a lineman, whatever. Every time you knock a guy down, you're getting a helmet sticker. We call them roaches. And the sticker is nothing more than, I'm sure some people might not have liked it, but it was a dead roach on its back. And every time you knock a guy down, you get a roach. Kids loved it. Look, he knocks a guy down, he's going to get the next man. Who else can I get? Boom. Nice gain there on a simple play. Simple play. What'd that end up being? A 5-yard pass total? Easy stuff. Just get athletes on the perimeter. All right, this is against Silver Creek. Nate's gonna go see them later. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. They demolished us. And I'm not making excuses. We're dressing 32 here, maybe 31. They're dressing 70. I'm gonna be real with everybody here. I love my guys, but we didn't have the depth to hang with them. We kept it tight for about a quarter and a half, and then their depth and athleticism took over. But we were able to do some nice stuff against them. Remember that kind of weird front I told you about? They stacked their end. Whoops. What did I do here? They stacked their outside linebacker in their end and played games there. They stacked their outside linebacker in their end and played games. And they let their Mike, they put him back at about 6 yards and let him go to work. Okay, there's their Sam or their Spur. There's their outside linebacker here. Okay, so they're basically telling you, you're not getting to the middle on us. Try the edge. Our bigs are better than your bigs. You're not getting inside. And then they put their speed outside. I like their scheme. I'm really curious to watch their presentation later. But we were able to outflank them. Look, we're going 4-0. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time we hand it off, it'll be 5-0. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got numbers. And we pull a guard to create 6. Good stuff there. That is a 1A or 2A program, depending on how you look at our numbers. We officially were 2A with a 1A roster and a 1A size school, going up against what is essentially going to be a 5A program. I was proud of our guys here, man. We hung with these dudes for about a quarter and a half, and then depth took over. Nice job. Nice job, Carson. Good blocking on the perimeter, too. Again, that 5-0 set ends up being 6-0. Put your foot in the ground, baby. That a boy. .57, our guard. If he just gets out there a little bit quicker, I think we might be in the end zone there. Okay, I was really proud of our guys for the first half of this game. This is an opponent up in the hills, right up the street from us. Perennial, very solid 5A team. Okay, look at their dudes. Their dudes don't look like our dudes. They've got a kid on their team who's going to Ohio State. Okay, so take that for what it is. Here we are. We're going to run a little rocket action with an over receiver, so we're off balanced here. They match the numbers for the most part, but then when we pull a guard and bring this wing over, now we've got numbers on them. They don't pursue to it. Our guys are looking to hit people. We get to the edge, into the boundary, put our foot in the ground, and there we go. I love running to the edge I love getting to the edge, into the boundary. Pull that guard, get your receivers out there blocking, and see what you can do. I think we ran the exact same play the very next play. They couldn't stop it the first time. Let's see if we can get it again. Wide receiver does a nice job cracking down here. I'm sorry, not cracking down, but stalking and sealing that guy. We stalk, we seal the edge. Stalk and seal. Get up in there. Good stuff, Jeremy. Okay, we don't go off balance here. We can press down. Get to the grass. Get to the grass. Get to the grass. Come on, baby. Let's go. Heck of a run there. He just ran out of gas. You know, and I don't blame him. He never came off the field for us. He just ran out of gas. They say you can't pull against a 2-eye, but if you get your guy on the edge and just outrun people, I think you can pull a 2-eye. There's a 2-eye. As soon as our guard pulls, he's supposed to come down the line. He takes a little bit of a bad angle on us, and we're able to outflank him and outrun him. 18 does a nice job here. One thing you'll notice with 4-3 teams is they leave the alley open sometimes. Okay, so we've got grass there. We're going to take it. Crack down. Pull around. Pull around. And let's get numbers. We actually kicked our, this might have been an in-game adjustment now that I think about it. We might have told him to go straight ahead just to hold that mic. Yeah, I'm not sure what our fullback was doing there, but for some reason in game we told him to attack in the middle to backside. Remember, this is a 5A team. They ended up being a sectional finalist. Got upset in their sectional final, but they were a good team. They've got dudes on their team. They have a heck of a weight program, a lot of quads and glutes on their team. They get in the weight room. They're good. They're really good. They have a kid that's going to Ohio State on their team. We get to the edge. Nice blocking on the perimeter. Get your foot in the ground and let's go. Unfortunately, this one got called back. I think we blocked in the back or held or something. And you take the good with the bad, or the bad with the good. If you teach our receivers to be as aggressive as they are, you're going to get holding calls. That's a true freshman. As a true freshman, like you would have red shirts in high school. 28's a freshman, and he's out here on a senior. I'm talking about this kid right here. That is a freshman out there on a senior, giving him all kinds of hell. I love that effort. I believe they called a hold on him. I'll take the effort, though. We'll work the technique. I love the effort. Young man, good job, Brian. Come on, Carson, get that edge. Let's go, baby. Get in there. Get in the end zone. Love it. Love it. Like I said, get to the boundary, get to the edge. We needed 9, we end up getting 7, and all it is just getting to the edge. We even miss a block. But because we got athletes on the edge, anything can happen. Here again, you've seen this play enough. We're pulling guards, we're getting bodies on bodies, and we're getting our stud on the perimeter. Just get it out there to him quick. I wanted to throw this play in. This is an interesting play for us. We messed with it a little bit early in the season. Kind of decided it was a little bit too much thinking, so we abandoned it. But basically what we're getting here is we're getting a rub here, and we're getting flat out of our wing. Okay, this guy needs to get wider. Our flanker needs to get wider. I'd like for him to be at the top of the numbers if he can, because that's going to pull that corner and create a lot of grass. So to the field, we've got a little rub. to the boundary, we're outside zone. So it ends up being a little barrier play, RPO, if you will. Quarterback's going to read it. If he sees grass, he's going to throw to it. If not, you've got outside zone into the boundary with the quarterback and a lead blocker. Interesting little concept for us. We don't run it right. My wing gets too far upfield. This is our scrimmage. This is our very first live 11-on-11 action of the year. So our wing gets too far upfield, but you can see there's some grass developing here. Quarterback saw he didn't get off clean. Didn't get a clean look at it, so he just takes it. I think we ended up gaining 15 off of it. Freshman right here, by the way. Freshman. Going to be a sophomore. Look at him. Look at my freshman on the perimeter getting after people. Okay, and then of course we ran a little wing T jet. Now I talked about establishing your culture, unselfish players on the perimeter. If you want us to throw it to you, you better block. Okay, so these are my JV guys. This is their first action as a team. This is in our scrimmage game early in the season. Check out my guy right here. This is a freshman. Okay? But we established that culture early that if you want the ball thrown to you, if you want some action, you better block. Watch our guy. Here he goes. Stay on that block. Is it a hold? Maybe. Didn't get called, though. On the ground. Get your roach. Take that sticker, young man. Love it. A little shiftiness out of our back here. Take the space, make corners, make plays. Film cut off on me, but we were in a tight bunch set here. Okay, and you see all this grass? I mean, we're going to take that. Even if we don't pull a guard, you're asking your corner to make a play, and he's going to overrun it. We're going to put our foot in the ground, and away we go. Put pressure on guys to tackle who don't want to tackle. Here we go. Just a little outside zone action. We got a nice crack to get to the edge. Here we go. Put your foot in the ground and make something happen, baby. Nice run there. Okay, and that's our perimeter stuff, guys. Those were our 2 or 3 basic schemes to get to the edge. Really appreciate you all checking this out. Thank you for subscribing to Chief Pigskin. Again, I'm Daniel McDonald, head football coach, Our Lady of Providence High School. You can email me by all means. I try to be as accessible as possible, dmcdonald@providencehigh.net. I'm easier to get a hold of on Twitter, @coach_DMcDonald. I want to thank Chief Pigskin. I want to thank Nate Allball, good friend of mine, for putting this on. And as always, go Pioneers.